So welcome again to Sam's Auto Assortium with me, Sam, and this week we are doing more on the Lupo. So let's jump into it. So obviously if you watched the last video, you will have seen the manky interior on this car. And I wanted to just get straight in and tackle the manky interior. However, I remembered when I sat on the chair, my arse got wet because the door doesn't seal properly. So before I do anything, I'm going to have to try and tackle that. So when I looked online how to do this, everything just said the best way to do it is to drop the window like so. You can't see the window dropping, but that's fine. And then once the window is down, you grab hold of the top of the door and put your knee in there, and you simply pull. And then you give the door a close. And that is actually slightly better. Let me just see if I can show you that. So you can see that that is closed slightly better, but it is still out of line a bit. So we're just going to try that again. So we're just going to go knee in the corner of the door and pull. So after a lot of opening and closing, that is about the best I'm going to get it. Maybe we can heat the seal up or something and try and push it in a bit more closed. But I mean, that's pretty good down the door. It's best I'm going to get it, I think, anyway. We'll try again maybe on a warmer day. Cool. One job done. While we're at it and the door is slightly more straight, we'll see if the window actually goes up. Okay, windows up. Didn't really go up very smoothly, so we'll shelf that one for a minute until I get in the door to get that lock off anyway. Let's move on to the next job. So I'm just running a multimeter over the battery to make sure that the alternator is working. So we're going to set this to 20 volts. We're going to get the positive and the negative on the positive and negative terminals. Very hard to do while holding the camera. Okay, battery's good. We're going to try that again with the engine running. So, forgot to film the test with the alternator on, but the alternator is charging, so that is not a problem. Although the batteries keep going flat after a couple of starts, possibly because I'm not driving it, possibly maybe the power's draining somewhere, or just crap batteries. I mean, they are old. I got two really old batteries. One came on the car and one that came off my dad's van a couple of years ago. So could just be bad batteries. But next, we're going to tackle the engine management light issue. So I got a cheapy diagnostic, but should give me a fault code. We'll see what's going on. Well, after 10 minutes of searching and not finding anything, and then a Google search, I found the OBD port. If you've got a VW Lupo, it is down here. In there. Absolutely minging. Take that out. There she is. Let's get that plugged in. So I've used these a few times. I am no expert on these, but I'll give you a brief rundown. So you plug it in. I think usually with the ignition off, I tend to do it. You press enter. It starts scanning through a bunch of things. So mine had a link error, so I did it again with the ignition on, and now it's come up. So no codes read, apparently. I'm going to erase any codes. I'm going to rescan. No codes found. So now those codes are cleared off. You just turn the engine over. And no fault codes showing. So hopefully that is that taken care of for now. Let's go and fix this wiper issue then. So to fix the wiper issue, there was the wiper motor there. You can't really see it because it's under there now. There was a linkage arm which was just sitting there loose. There is the bottom of the wiper arm there, so you just attach the linkage back to that and then the wiper will move. Woohoo! 2 wipers again. So it's been a couple of days and the engine management light is still out. We've had plenty of rain and my chair is dry, so that means me bending the door back a bit has worked. So let's get back to tackling that window. So I've been looking on a few forums and it just seems to suggest that it could just be the tracks need cleaning. So I got some silicone lubricant somewhere. Silicone lubricant from Halfords, $4.99 for a big tin of it. So I'm just going to spray that in the tracks and see if we can get that window moving better. So let's go and do that. So I'm going to have to drop the window to get into the tracks. I mean, the window drops absolutely fine. When you try and bring the window up, you don't want to do anything. It comes up, it gets stuck. It could be off the runner, but I'm going to try this first before I go taking the door apart. And what do you know? Glides nice and smoothly-ish. So I'm going to put that up and down a few times just to make sure it's running up and down nicely. But that looks like a fix to me. So I'm just going to go ahead and try the same thing on the other window. So the passenger side window is not actually moving off the switches at all. So after a bit of a force there, I got the passenger side window. Took a move up and down, it took a bit of unjamming. And it is going up and down, but it's a bit crunchy. So again, we're just going to spray the silicone lube in the door, runs, or tracks, whatever you want to call them. Just spray it in across that, just to make sure it all glides nice and smoothly. We'll clean the rest of it off later on in another video. Windows fixed. Woo! So the passenger side window switch actually doesn't work this side, so I don't know whether to replace it or not to worry about it, because it does work from the other side. So maybe we'll tackle that in a later video, or we'll just leave it. We'll see what happens. So as I've explained in a previous vehicle, this car was seized by the DVLA. So I had to get a key cut for it. When I had the key cut, the guy told me that although the key fits in this lock, it does nothing. The driver's door lock is seized. So he told me to just keep spraying stuff in it rather than taking it off and trying to replace it. So I got some release spray. We're going to spray that in. I mean, he told me to put brake cleaner, but I'm going to try release spray because it seems to suggest that it might work for this kind of thing. I mean, it's not going to work right now, but we're going to leave that in there, and I'm going to keep doing it over the course of, you know, a week or so before I try and take it off. Well, that wraps that up for this video. That was 4 quick fixes for some minor issues on this car. Nice and easy to do, and well, I fixed them all for less than a tenner, so I can't really complain with that. So it's time to start looking at some of the bigger jobs. I think the next big job is going to be this interior and maybe clean the exterior. Don't know whether I'm going to manage to do it all in one go, but you know, it's going to be a proper seats out job, you know, to clean all the carpet in here. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.